Good morning, America. It it is May 24th, 2023. It is about 8 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, southeastern Pennsylvania. And Piasecki Aviation is having their grand opening today, so I hear. That's the company that bought this facility from Lockheed Sikorsky. I wonder if they bought the actual land and property. I wonder. Or maybe they just. That's an interesting question. So if they are leasing from the owner of the land, the buildings that they put there to, to accommodate, assembly of helicopters, once they leave, are those buildings the property of? Do those buildings, are they owned by the property owner? My thinking is, of course they are, of course. And that puts additional risk on the owner of the property because it basically can only accommodate one kind of tenant. Now you can modify the buildings, to accommodate a different kind of tenant, I suppose. But it worked out perfectly. And it didn't take long either. This facility must have a good reputation. I know Sikorsky Lockheed moved a lot of product out of here. It was Sikorsky, and then they were bought out by Lockheed, and they moved a lot of product through this facility. I know that. I saw some of it. I videoed a lot of it. So, welcome one and all. The wind is out of the east today, which is so unusual. It's frequently been out of the east lately, and that gives you cooler temperatures. The stuff that comes in from the west, it's had to come across all that dry land. Okay, what the hell is that? Helicopter. Boy, there's helicopters buzzing around here pretty much every day. But so they're approaching from the west, flying into the east on their landing runs today. So I'm going to say there's probably some people flying in here for this event today. I don't think I'll be here, but I just wanted to come out and take a look. And they've got, there's an Iron Mountain shredding truck here that shreds documents. First time I've seen that in 4 years, 3.5 years. So we're going to hang out here a little bit. I'm going to take Harvey for a walk, and we can chase the kitty cats, the squirrelies, the groundhoggies, and the raccoonies. Harvey, those raccoonies. I keep telling Harvey, I said, you see a raccoon, you want to turn around and start running away. Because they would kill him instantly. Somewhat instantly. Oh, there's somebody rolling on runway 29. Even though the wind is clearly out of the east. Okay, that's called taking off with a tailwind. But on a mile-long runway and a Cessna highway, he's off the runway instantly. So that's not that big of a deal. With a jet that needs a longer takeoff run, that could be a problem, a hazard. I don't know if you've noticed the insignia on this hoodie, and I've got a shirt that has exactly the same thing. This is Air Force. This has been Air Force since the 50s. This is the insignia for the Air Force. It's not for the Army Air Force. It's not for anything else. It's strictly Air Force. Is it cool, or is it cool looking? The star with the red and white stripes. Well, that's a Cessna, and does not look like he's going into the pattern, although maybe his instructor is holding his feet to the fire and saying, I want you to make a direct, straight out approach or departure. And that's rare, because usually once you take off, you let the wind takes you one way or the other off of the bearing of the runway that you just took off from. But, good instructors will start, mandating, hey, do it right or don't do it. Apparently the guy's having trouble with the shredder machine in the Iron Hill truck. It's not shredding paper today. That paper is too difficult to shred. It might have broken the shredder. This guy's trying to get it running. Part of the job. Comes with the territory. Thing doesn't work, I'll fix it. That's not my job description. Well, it is now. This time of the year, there are so many incredible things that happen to me. Actually, well, this period, my birthday, my son's birthday, Memorial Day going into June, 26 years ago, I was like working minimum wage, multiple minimum wage jobs at 46 years old. I was working multiple minimum wage, no benefits. My children didn't have any benefits. They didn't have medical insurance, which it bothered me. But my youngest was 7, and my oldest was 12. And if they'd had some complications from birth, they would have shown themselves by now. And that didn't happen. All 3 of my children were healthy. My daughter had a close call, but once she got past the danger zone, you know what I mean? There's no like childhood cancer or childhood diseases that afflicted them. And the main hazard to their health and well-being after they get past that initial stage of possible systemic diseases from birth. What do they call that? There's a word for it. Geez. And so they were past that. My youngest at 7, he didn't have any congenital, I think it's congenital diseases from birth. So the main hazard to people's health is a car accident. Of course, as you get older, there's other things, but and when you're young, the main, the most danger to my children was getting in a car crash. Cars have insurance, and if they get hurt in a car crash, I can personally guarantee the insurance company is going to cover them, because they don't want to pay. I've had that. I had that happen on Amanda when Amanda was born. As a matter of fact, 1985, she was in ICU for like 3 or 4 days, and Joan was kind of like traumatized too, and so she stayed at the hospital with Amanda, but she was in a different room. Amanda was in ICU, and Joan was in a different room, but she obviously would go over and be with her. Insurance company didn't want to pay for Joan's extra 2 or 3 nights staying, so I wrote a letter. They didn't pay. So I wrote a letter to the insurance commissioner for the state of Pennsylvania, to the president of Bryn Mawr Hospital. I carbon copied to the president of Bryn Mawr Hospital. I carbon copied to my state senator and representative, and I carbon copied to my federal state senators and representatives. Well, that insurance bill got paid really quick. How about that? I wonder why. The power of the written word, my friend. And I do know the right things to say, because I have the facts and the truth on my side, and there's no more powerful weapon than that. So anyway, that bill got paid, and that started a sequence of times that I had to put things in writing. When you're poor, I guess you could qualify as poor at that time, things pretty much work against you, you know, no matter what, you know, who you're dealing with. I mean, if you're poor and you're dealing with a landlord that is rich, don't think the landlord is your friend. He's not. And he never purports to be. The relationship you have with the landlord is strictly business, okay? Strictly business, even though personal lives are affected and involved. And that can get contentious, man. It really can. Anyway, excuse me. You have to know your rights, and you have to be ready to take action. And I was. I wish I had been that ready in other aspects of my life to take action. I just never imagined that I would have to defend myself against a quote-unquote partner. It just, whenever a partner turned on me, I was not ready for it. And a really, really horrible, awful, disgusting way. That happened twice to me. And, you know, the second one, they were both a shock. I mean, you know, when my wife decided, and she didn't even talk to me about it, that she was thinking about divorce. She just all of a sudden just told me, I'm getting a divorce. Okay. Thanks for the warning. And then the other person fell in love at first sight with another person and dumped me on the spot. And then claimed 7 months later that she made a mistake and she wanted me back. So, you know, completely unexpected. I mean, no foreknowledge of others. Like when you get smacked, that's like a blindside punch, you know? It's like a haymaker blindside punch that you don't see coming, and then boom, it just knocks you down. Let me tell you, my friends, you better be ready for that blindside punch. Either that or just, you know, be a person willing to accept it. And I was neither. I was neither ready nor willing to accept it. So I'm like, you get severely damaged. I guess maybe, you know, it's a test of faith. Maybe. I don't know. I can't explain it. But anyway. So 26 years ago, May 24th, really a non-eventful day. Not really nothing. It was in the middle of the Memorial Day weekend. So the Memorial Day weekend 26 years ago, Memorial Day was my birthday, May 26th. And so the 24th was a Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then, you know, I went back into this mode of, do I get this videographer job or not, that I, you know, went over in depth in yesterday's video. And you want to be messed up? Hang on a second. Sorry for the delay. I'll cut that out. of the video, but I'm having trouble splicing two separate videos together. Oh, God. Oh, this is all screwed up. Horizontal, vertical. I spilled some coffee on my hoodie, and I wanted to put some water on it because that's what you have to do when you spill something on a garment that you really like and you don't want it to have a stain. Wawa again. Sorry, Duncan. Don't get mad at me, Casey. I'm going from the Duncan face to the Wawa face. I'm now the Wawa face. It's easier. It's closer. The quality is more consistent. You know. Anyway, so yeah, there, you know, I try to differentiate between the two times where I was like blindsided. Blindsided. When you are blindsided, you just never forget it. All the violent confrontations I've had in my life, it's just been insane. It's really been insane. It's amazing what people think they can do and get away with. It's incredible. Anyway, so grand opening today for Piasecki. There's nobody here. Like, look, there's nobody here. The pile of mulch is still here, and the owners or the organizers of this event today were asking them if they could get rid of this pile, you know, for the grand opening today. And I see the Brogan Landscaping Company is back here today. They were here all day yesterday. I guess they're here this morning to get everything spruced up and looking good, but they still got this huge pile of crap. Hey, and off to the north, you'll see a big pile of crap. We don't want to end up like that as a company, okay? We don't want our customers to see us as a big pile of crap. I wish I could convey the feeling of betrayal by a partner, by somebody you think is a partner. Never really was a partner. Somebody you think is a partner, and you're trying to get into a comfort zone. I can't tell you. This is impossible. You know, setting your priorities. You know, I guess from puberty all the way through my 30s, my priority. I had a career, and I was absolutely pursuing the career. I knew how important that was, but I also wanted a family. And as I approached my 30s, that was looking less likely, or more improbable, less probable that I was going to get that done. And when you're picking somebody to marry, and on the surface, you're thinking you're going to spend the rest of your life with this person. I guess there's no correct formula to know that that's going to work out. But looking back, of course, looking in your rearview mirror, you can always see things clearly. Looking back, it was obvious that my marriage was not going to work out. It was that my wife and I were incompatible. And my children, my oldest son has asked me a couple times, "Didn't you have some good times? Wasn't there a chance that it could work out?" And I said, in retrospect and looking on it from this point of view, no. It was going bad from the get-go, and we're just incompatible. That's really what it comes down to. I could give you more details, but if you after the divorce was over, it was horrendous because my children were so young, and losing my children when they were such a young age was devastating to me. That's the one thing in my life that I could say was truly devastating, and impossible for me for at least, I don't know, 9-10 months in the divorce. Impossible for me to accept. At the 10, 11, and 1 year mark, 10, 11 month and the 1 year mark, I really got to the point where I could accept that I'm not going to live with them day in and day out, and that was the truth of the matter. Both gut punches, my ex-wife and then a person that I met at Bell, both of them wanted to come back and be with me. What in the world goes through a woman's mind that they can possibly believe that, you know, they kick me out of their life? Okay, they have the right to do that, you know. And I knew I could adjust and be you know, get through with it. Losing my children was just so emotionally difficult and psychologically damaging. However, time has an amazing healing quality, and at the 10-month mark, I was getting back on my feet again professionally. And okay, socially, I'm cleaned up with, you know, the whole mess. Not completely cleaned up, but accepting that, you know, my family's gone, and there's nothing I can do about it. And you know, it's kind of like a lesson from God. Okay, you think you're in control of everything, and that, you know, you're gonna be in this family, you're gonna be the patriarch of this family. No, God said no, and kept on putting some unmanageable situations into the marriage that were unmanageable, that were unmanageable. Sounds so businesslike, and it was emotionally untenable. But you know, that's one way of saying it, emotionally untenable. And you know, we were incompatible. I wanted more. I wanted to be successful. You know, and I worked damn hard at it. I worked damn hard at it, but my wife just didn't think along those lines. She just wanted to live from day to day, go to a job, not have any pressure, not, you know, responsibilities, no stress, no responsibilities. She didn't like responsibility, I can tell you that. Even though, you know, she's a mother and has children, those are responsibilities that you cannot shirk, and she shirked them a number of times. But that doesn't mean that she didn't have the capacity to love, and she did have the capacity to love. It's just some things are not compatible with other things. That's really what it comes down to. And I didn't want to raise my kids in an apartment building, and I didn't want my children to spend their entire young existence in an apartment building. Well, for a big part they did after the divorce, you know. But I didn't want that. I wanted something better for them, and it didn't work out. Although they spent a lot of time in their grandparents' home. And 2 out of 3 of them have their own houses now. So I think they realize the importance of that. Anyway, it was just a magical time because in 1997, I've been divorced for 4 years now, and 3.5 years. And I was completely in the mode, and I completely understood. It took me a while to understand my role in this group of people, me, my children, and my ex-wife. My role was one of support. Very important, very important to address that need and to overcome, of course, the unwillingness of the father or the male to, you know, pay that much money to his ex-wife. It's a tough thing. But it didn't take me long to realize that, hey, wow, everything's more expensive after a divorce, and there's less money for everybody after a divorce. There's less money for the mother, the children, and the father. There's just going to be less. And dropping and resting on my shoulders was the responsibility to pay the support myself, work my way out of, you know, monstrous credit card debt, deal with my ex-wife's alcoholism. And I could do all those things. My social life suffered, though. It really suffered because my mind is always there. And when something hurts you that bad, you kind of like see it. You wonder if there's more of the same waiting for you. And there was, but not with children involved. Just, you know, a crummy, awful, god-awful arrangement between me and somebody that I worked with at Bell. And it ended up being just a mess. Just a horrible mess. Anyway, not as bad as losing my family and my children. Very close, though. As far as betrayal and everything, it's just mind-boggling. But anyway, so a new start today for a company that is in the aviation business. I never heard of these guys. They've been in Philadelphia for a real long time, though. Piasecki. Piasecki. And I don't know that they've done any mass production of anything. You know, apparently they have experience with drones. They have experience with, you know, radical different design for helicopters, and it looked interesting. But there's been no mass production that I know of from this company. So something to watch and kind of like see maybe something blossoms out of this venture that they have. They got $12 million to buy this place though, which I think is a really good deal because they're getting all the if they get the land, it's an excellent deal. But they got this great facility for putting helicopters together. And they test fly them, and they're right next to an airport, you know, so they get information there too from the airport, and they can fly over to the airport. And I made a joke about this. They'd take off. The Sikorsky helicopters would go up, you know, 50, 60 feet, and then do a really low uh, uh, jaunt over to the airport, you know, about 50 feet off the ground. And I mentioned that maybe they're going to the local Wawa to get a cup of coffee. You know, hey, let's fly to the Wawa. Let's land in the parking lot at the Wawa and get a cup of coffee in a helicopter. Wouldn't that be something to see? Hey, man, there's a helicopter landing at Wawa. Wonder what's going on. We're just here for a cup of coffee. Jeez. Yeah, it'd be funny. Fun thing. I don't know if that's illegal. I don't know. You might want to let the manager of the Wawa know what you're doing, though. Give him, you know, half an hour notice or something. Those days are long gone for aviation. You do something like that, you get grounded for life. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in, and let me say hello to you and wishing you a day where you can make somebody else's existence a little bit better. You know, like I'll hang around at the grocery store and wait for a woman to come out with a full cart and like little kids in tow, and I'll go and offer my help. And they always accept it. Oh, thank you. Sure, yeah, thanks for you. I said, look, I'll push the cart. You take care of the kids. I don't want to take care of your kids, but I'll push the grocery cart for you, and I'll, you know, let you unload your groceries, and then I'll take the cart to the, you know, to the rack wherever we're supposed to put it. So, you know, lessen the burden. So I make her day a little bit better and easier, just a little bit better, you know. And my good friend Dave Scheidel, when he retired a few weeks ago, March, April, May, actually 2 months ago, and they had a little party for him, and you know he made a little talk at the end, and he told everybody that was listening. He said, day in and day out, you want to feel good about yourself, make it better, make things better for the customers and for your colleagues, your fellow workers. Clean up a little mess, do something to make everybody's situation better. That's a good piece of advice. I like that, Dave. I like that. And you can take that, you can build on that. You know, okay, we made it better. How can we make it even better? You know, and you can. You can always make things better. Unfortunately, there's other forces at work in my life anyway that have just completely disillusioned me. But I think, you know, after you've been around for a while, you realize that's the way life is. You know, for me anyway. for other people, who knows? Anyway, wish you the best today. I have already made. What do you think? No, I haven't. Not today. Yesterday I did. I made 3 women laugh and smile yesterday. Laugh and smile. I like that. It makes me feel good about me. All right? Do the same, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Peace, y'all.